Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the honourable gentleman, Member for Morani, for his question too, and I certainly can. Madam Speaker, it was only a fortnight ago that I stood at this very spot and spoke about the launch of the Newman government's Reef Facts website, and those across the chamber scoffed. It is unfortunate that we have seen this concerted campaign by a misinformed group of individuals who choose to peddle extreme and alarmist and hysterical deceit. And I take the interjection from the member for South Brisbane. It's interesting. I must pause here because the member for South Brisbane really needs to reflect and have a look at what the former member for South Brisbane was actually saying about some of the things we're tackling now as a government, the Newman government, in particular Abbott Point. Because it was back on the 8th of October 2009 that the then member for South Brisbane, the Premier and the Minister for Arts, the Honourable Anna Bligh, lauded a new multi-cargo facility for Abbott Point. What were we going to see? We were going to see 12 shipping berths, a tug harbour and a dredged access channel, swing basin and berth pockets. And do you know what? That was going to require, and it's here in the press release, 25 million cubic metres of dredge. Do you know what they were going to do with that? They were going to create another island in the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority. On top of that, and again, perhaps the member for South Brisbane should go back and have a chat to the former member for South Brisbane. On the 1st of December 2011, on top of that multi-cargo facility, the Premier and the Treasurer at that time announced plans for a super expansion of the Port of Abbott Point following overwhelming demand from the private sector for development of the port. And on top of those 12 berths, they were going to expand a further from 4 to 9 terminals, which would have seen the current capacity of 50 million tonnes per annum leap to 400 million tonnes per annum and add another 13 million cubic metres of dredge spoil to the project. It's interesting that there is now silence from those opposite, and what is more ironic
Members,
is that at the
there is too
time of
much
those
interjecting.
announcements, there was silence from the extreme green groups as well.
Order.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What it goes to show is that what we are seeing here in Queensland, what we're seeing in Australia, what we are seeing is international, is nothing other than a scare campaign by a pseudo-group acting on behalf of their political apparatchik, funding their campaigns, funding their election campaigns, not only in this state but elsewhere. What we have been doing is delivering for the reef. We have been protecting the reef like no government before it. We are addressing every one of the recommendations that UNESCO has placed. We are working particularly with our farmers. We're working with them, not against them. And we will ensure the reef is protected well into the future.
I